want to send you a heartfelt greetings. I just am amazed at how much this little class has meant to me over the years. I wish I could be there with you, but too many obstacles were in the way. Of course, you can tell that I don't have that black hair that I used to have. And a few other things have changed. I've noticed in life, though, that as one grows older, other people do too. And you're not 8th grade students anymore. But anyway, I have a great deal of love for this entire class, and every one of you who were in my class has a special place in my estimation. I left teaching, went to full-time preaching after teaching out there 2 years. I've seen some of you a few times, but not always, as not everybody. I've sort of kept up with Jim Howard over the years. I've heard him a number of times. In fact, we had him to come up to Chelsea, Michigan for a meeting when I was preaching there. I've seen others a time or two. I've been to Harris Williams' office and talked to him. And a few years ago, I'm going to use the maiden names. Maxine McGee was visiting where I was teaching the Wednesday night class here at the Crescent Church in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. It was so good to see her. Then about 25 years ago, my wife and I took a trip to the Holy Land. We got out of the plane in Tel Aviv. We started out of the airport, and someone behind me said, "Mr. Parnell." And I looked around, and it was Beverly Gillespie. She was there with her husband and her mother. And it was certainly good to see them. In fact, it made our trip more joyous to be able to see Beverly again and be with them that long. Outside of that, I don't remember seeing any of you since then. I've kept up with you. I've heard of a lot of things that happened to many of you. But it's just, life is full of disappointment sometimes. I'd like so much to see you and hear from you. I live, actually, my phone number is Murfreesboro, Tennessee. My address is Christiana, Tennessee. Well, I live closer to Murfreesboro than I do Christiana. But anyway, we're just within driving distance of Nashville. And if you're ever even in Nashville, try to look us up. We're in the phone book. I'd like to say that many things happened the year that I taught at Memphis Christian. I'm not going to go into a lot of them. A few things I could say that could be embarrassing someone. But 2 or 3 things I'd like to call your attention to. This is something that some of the girls came to me about. I guess you've been reading Paul's admonition to greet one another with a holy kiss. But anyway, some of you girls came up to me and wanted to ask me if it was all right for a girl and boy to kiss each other. I said, well, it's just fine as long as it's a holy kiss. That seemed to satisfy you. I was thankful you didn't ask me to define the difference in a holy kiss and an unholy kiss, because I certainly wouldn't be able to demonstrate it. But another thing that happened that I think might have been memorable. One day I was assigning some pretty difficult sentences to diagram. And the next day I had different people to put their sentence on the board diagramming. One of them had a mistake in it. And I began to show where you were wrong, and whoever you were said, well, now I think her name is Miss Ellis. I'm not sure, but I'll play like that's what it is if it's not. Said, I went to Miss Ellis and she diagrammed it this way. This is her work. I was sort of sassy, I guess. I said, well, Miss Ellis is just in the 5th grade. We're in the 8th grade, so let's do it right. I learned a lesson that day. Be careful what you say, because that message got back to Miss Ellis that I had said that. I don't think it offended her. I think she took it in the way that it was meant. But those are some of the things that happened. I remember quite well the softball games. I also remember the Saturday schools. I'm going to confess to you that I was opposed to Saturday school, but since I was a part of the establishment, I had to go along with it. But anyway, the hardest part of my work there was driving the school bus. And the problem was not with the pupils. It was with the parents. We had some parents who were very difficult to get along with. But I made it through, and I cherish the memory of each and every one of you. And I want to thank you for inviting me to attend this occasion, but I just couldn't make it. So I want to say so long, and thank you again for the memories.